All right, what is up, everybody? This is Danny with Terrapin 4009 for the culture, and this show is called The Luna Laws. And our goal is to bring you some information in regard to governance going on in Terra. How are you doing, Tawi?
I'm good, man. How are you today?
Doing great, man. I'm glad that we're going to be talking about Nexus today because I do feel like it's been a project that has not gotten much attention since it first came out.
Right, right. Well, they've had a really good outline in their governance forums, and we'll show that towards the end of it. But like, they've been active, they've been building. There's just I don't know why Twitter hasn't been like receptive to it for some reason.
It hasn't been the shiny
The,
object, right?
well, that's too. I think it's to do with all these new protocol launches we've had recently, right?
Yeah. It front ran all Delphi digital ones, right? Mars, Astro, and then Prism. So
Right,
they've been taking up a lot of the attention. But
for sure.
I think Nexus is making a comeback.
Well, I mean, these proposals look like a pretty good facelift for the whole protocol, for sure.
Yeah. So let's get into it. So there's a bunch going on. There's 5 that are in progress right now. They do end April 11th, and they all seem to have passed already. But I think the important thing right now is for us to at least talk about them and introduce them. And then if anybody wants to dive deeper into them, they can obviously come back and do some more research. But by the time this video is released, these proposals will probably have passed already.
Right, right. So we'll start with that one, yeah, ETH Nexus.
All right.
But it's essentially a new front end that they want to deploy over on Ethereum to the Ethereum native users, so that it's easy for people to just take their ETH and then put it into one of these Nexus vaults and then start using their strategies from that point, instead of like going through the whole rigmarole of like bridging over from 2 different chains and stuff like that, or using the wormhole bridge. I mean, in this case.
So the front end will just allow people to Ethereum users to use their MetaMask wallet, for example.
That's how I understand it. Is that like you won't be leaving the Ethereum main layer, so you'll just take your ETH from there, and then like they will handle all the the token allocation on your behalf from then that point forward.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
So it's a pretty simple. It's essentially the same way that I think Atom, or not Atom, sorry, Anchor does it for the ETH people when they're depositing their ETH to take out a UST loan.
Sure. Yeah, I see this as very bullish, obviously, because it's reducing one barrier for the ETH community to
Right.
participate in Nexus. So I
For
like
sure, for
this.
sure. Yeah.
All right. Next one.
Yeah, so this one is just to build auto compounding vaults. So basically, Spectrum Finance came out and they took the N asset vaults that are on Nexus protocol right now, and they just put an auto compounding feature on top of that. So this proposal is just saying like Nexus is charging us a 6% like what is it called, a performance fee plus a 0.1% deposit fee, and a bunch of other things, right? So it's taking away from the profits of people and who just simply want to sit there and auto compound. So essentially, it's an attempt to bring all of that in house, so that you can come to Nexus protocol and use the same vaults, the same everything, but now you just have a function to like auto compound your N assets right then and there, instead of like using this third party approach from Spectrum Finance.
That's interesting because that would be great for Nexus for sure. And
Correct. Yeah.
for Spectrum is taking away their utility in a sense, right? That's the only way that they're able to gather transaction fees by having auto compounding vaults. If projects start doing this in their own platforms, that's going to be interesting to watch.
Right, right. And so if you read the very last comment, it's basically done and ready to be shipped already. The code was prepared and tested already. So this one was just waiting governance approval. Actually, a lot of these project proposals they've been working on in the background, from what I understand, for most of this year so far. Um, so the
Cool.
next one we can move on to is the B Atom Ank Vault. Basically, so Anchor has onboarded AVAX and Atom now as part of their collaterals. So this is a proposal to just do the same, but on Nexus protocol, right? Because Nexus protocol essentially uses Anchor to do the leverage and then yield farm with the leverage, right? So now you can use the same strategies that you've been able to use for Ether and Luna, but now you can use it with Atom as well. So um, it's just opening up one more asset type that you can use. So that should
Nice.
be like a big win for like both protocols, Anchor and Nexus.
Yeah, definitely. I like this. Makes it easier for people.
Right. Right. So yeah, the airdrops one. Ooh, this one's a bit of a because it kind of ties in with a couple of other things that are going on. Is why I said that. So the intent is to take away the airdrops that they've been pushing out to ANC stakers, and
Hmm.
instead, if you kind of go down to proposal changes, you'll see like they've got a couple of points that they want to reallocate these proposals to, and you'll see like some of these points haven't really been pushed forward, and some of these points are being pushed forward now, right? So that's what I mean. So this is like one part of like a bigger scheme that they're trying to build, which is like essentially rework the Psi tokenomics for the PSI token, and it's they're trying to like have like this really interesting value accrual mechanism building into the PSI token now. So they want to like have protocol own liquidity, but at the same time they kind of want to have like a governance power accrual mechanism as well, not just for uh, the the Nexus protocol, but the governance power accrual for all the other ones too. Like if you can see point 3 there, that
Hmm.
one kind of goes into that one. So it's a really good one. Like our 15 minutes will be busted if we kind of start diving into it any further.
Sure. But yeah, I like this because I think that has been one of the pain points for the token price going down so much, right? That people
Hmm.
are getting these airdrops from staking Ank, and then essentially they're just dumping it and getting Luna or getting into the new
Right,
protocols that have been launching, like Mars, Astro, Prism, and stuff.
right, for sure. And then like that kind of goes back to the mineral grade thing that we looked at for Pylon,
From
remember?
Pylon,
Yeah.
yeah.
So like that one kind of would like basically more or less bad list the people that are doing like these net negative activities, right?
Hmm.
Or it's like, oh, you got free tokens, you dump them, whatever, it's your money, right? But it's like this protocol doesn't reward that kind of behavior. So then you get like some sort of a debuff when you come over to use that protocol. But
Yeah, yeah. No,
for
that
sure.
yeah, that is interesting. I like that they're thinking about this, right? And they're changing things up and taking
Hmm.
into consideration just feedback from the community, because I'm sure people like using this, but at the same time, they want to see how the token can also be valuable to them, right?
Right, right, for sure. And then protocol on liquidity. It's been a hot buzzword or buzz phrase over the last few months for sure. So they're kind of taking a page, but not really the whole chapter from the Ohm Olympus DAO
Hmm.
playbook a little bit. So they want to like issue out their tokens at a bit of a discount and accrue the Psi UST pool and the Luna PSI pool and the Ether PSI pool.
Right.
So and it's basically that. But again, this kind of goes back to the airdrop redirection proposal where they were talking about doing all sorts of different things. So this is kind of fitting into that picture where Nexus protocol wants to kind of like be more than just like the governance of Nexus protocol, the PSI token, where it kind of wants to have like this approach where Nexus protocol has fingers in a lot of different pies across the Terra ecosystem,
Mm.
if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So that's kind of like the theme, that's kind of the underlying theme that I'm picking up. reading through most of these proposals. So
Yeah,
yeah, so these are all the proposals that are kind of on their in governance right now. And then
right.
I guess we can kind of conclude with their plans for 2022. So this was put forward at the end of last year, and some of these proposals are in the list that we just talked about, right? But then, for example, LP money markets is still on the works. It's not pushed through just yet. So on-chain rebalancer vaults, this was like come put forward by Sefi in one of the Twitter spaces, and then he got talking with the team here, and so they're working on it in the background. You can currently see that the status of it last was profitability modeling. So essentially, it's a pretty neat idea.
Hmm.
Basically, it's like an automatic way of taking profits on Luna when it's rising, and then an automatic way of buying Luna when it's falling in price. And
Mm,
then,
that's
uh,
cool.
yep. And then so there's leverage vaults as well, and that one was put forward by a discussion between Lunomics and the team, and then wrapped M asset strategies as well. So there's a lot that's still in the works, and a lot that was pushed forward in this last big governance proposal hoorah thing.
Hmm.
So it's a
Yeah,
busy team. It's a busy team. That's the point that underlines all of it. Is Nexus is a busy team.
yeah, man. I love this. I think it's really exciting to see everything that they're working on in the background. Like you're saying, like that they've been kind of like the underdog, like they have not been getting much of attention. But I think that they've been doing a good job of talking to a couple of the people that have been teaching and educating people on different strategies. I know Sefi talks a lot about that grid
Right.
bot, right?
Right.
And also Luna Amex in regard to using Anchor and borrowing and leveraging with that. Like they've definitely been educating people on
Right.
finance in a sense and strategies. And so now these plans with Nexus, I think, are going to just make it easier for people to like automatically set that up, right? They don't have to manually do everything.
Right, right. So yeah, it's basically all those strategies that have been put forward by these people exactly, and now it's just a one or two click away from you instead of going manually and looping through Anchor or going into like some centralized exchange and having to set up a grid bot, where
Hmm.
now you can just set up a Luna UST pool type of setup, right?
Right.
So yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I said, this has been a busy team. Um, so just there's a lot more on the horizon too.
Yeah, yeah. So this is going to be good to keep an eye on the Nexus team as they continue to build and continue to also bring forth some governance, right? Because now it seems that all of these have passed, as we mentioned earlier. So now it's just going to be a matter of the implementation, right? Actually putting it to work and then doing the whole marketing and education component of it and having people actually try them out and
Right,
getting the feedback.
right, for sure, for sure.
Cool, man. Any last thoughts here?
No, I think we've basically covered everything there. So
Perfect. Yeah. Well, thank you for doing the research on these and giving us the quick summaries for these proposals. We're definitely going to continue to be bringing these summaries to bring value for lunatics who are interested in governance and interested in participating in these. That way, everybody's informed about what these protocols are doing and the growth that's going on here too.
right, right. Looking forward to doing more of these for sure.
Cool. All right. Well, with that being said, man, thanks again for your time. I appreciate you being here. And thanks to the listeners or the viewers who are watching another episode of the Luna Lost. And thank you for your support for Terra Money TV. We'll catch you guys on the next one.